with you?
Come with me and we'll go to Toffee Town.
Okay.
So how is your partying now?
Look, seriously, tonight will be a bit of a night because it's with my peeps. But no, I'll be tidy for the rest of the week. I'll just go and see shows and go home. Oh my God. This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. So I just did a show up there.
Yes, you did.
And
how'd you go with the show?
well, I was running a bit late because I always get on my first ever show that I do for the opening night. I get a little Airbnb in the city. So I found one in Lonsdale Street, but it was 10 minutes away, and I didn't time it very well. So I basically was hit the ground running. But I think that's all right, you know. Sometimes you just got to drop the script and just get on with it.
Was this the first time you've performed this show?
No, but it's changed.
Right.
So I only did 2 shows last year.
Okay. Can you just quickly give us the history of Don't Tell Tony? Because you were ready to run this show, and then this little thing called COVID hit.
Yes. This little thing called COVID hit, and I also had a stroke.
Right. So 2 little things hit.
Yeah, well, 2020 COVID hit and couldn't do it. And it was the first year that I actually was on the side of a tram. It was my dream. They were going to be opening up my arse cheeks to get on. I was on the little panel, on the door panel. And I was just like, oh my God, and all these people are like, Bev, you're on a tram. I'm like, I know. So that was kind of a bit sad, but everyone just had to suck it up and deal that year. And then I just had to put it on hiatus. And then Aaron, my manager, said, well, let's just get it up anyway. So we did the Fringe. But I didn't have an audience at all. So...
What do you mean? You zoomed it?
I played to, like, people had to buy in to watch it.
Right.
Which was fine. And I was allowed to have 4 people in the audience.
That's
just mates. Just
perfect opening night audience.
Oh.
Possible. Best possible setup.
And just got on with it. Just got on with it and did it. And I just treated it like a preview, like a work in progress, like a script read. You know how it goes, Jim. And so that was that, you know. And then last year I had a stroke, so I couldn't do a full run anyway. But so I had the stroke, missed out on the first and second nights I was supposed to perform. But seriously, I kid you not, 9 days after my stroke, I was on stage. And I still did it. And there's still some language problems, but it's not stopping me at all. So I trip over words here and there. So when you review this, Jen, can you just please be aware of that?
What kind of stroke was this?
I was very close to death, to be honest. And I mean, I didn't want everyone to know that because I didn't want anyone to not book me. That's the first thing I thought. Isn't that crazy? I was like, I don't want anyone to know because I'm going to be okay. I just knew I was going to be okay because I'm a fighter. I've always been like that.
Were you able to contain that information? Were you able to keep it a secret?
I was able to contain it. And then my good friend Peter Hallier called me and wanted to interview me on the project. And I couldn't say no. We'd been friends for so long. And I thought, well, that's a good way of explaining what happened in one fell swoop. So I did this interview with them, and it was really good.
You admitted in the show that it was almost like a first run.
It was.
Yeah, and you admitted that it's a bit creaky and there's a bit of ironing out to do.
There's some creases.
Okay,
and
so...
the reason why is because my manager saw it at the Fringe show, just online, because, you know, no one could travel then. And he said, I just think it needs some photos and stuff with it. And I went, okay, I'll work on that. Now, I've never done that before. I've always just been straight stand-up, storyteller. I should be able to get people to imagine just from my words, right? And I thought, no, I'll give it a go. And then when I asked one of the A-list managers, Kylie, if she had any of that footage, she went, you know what? I've found some raw footage that she kept just in case she needed it for evidence. And I only saw that video footage a week ago.
But, how did you feel interacting with audio-visual?
I felt okay, but I felt like I don't know if people are used to just that straight stand-up gag kind of feel, but I just started feeling like, I need to get them laughing. You know, there was a few lulls that I'm not used to as a stand-up. I mean, I could hear them laughing at the video at the front of the show, and I could hear this and that. But yeah, I think I need to either slow down or I need to find some more gags in between. Sometimes I think too, people think I'm making this shit up. Like, it's so outrageous and it's so nuts that they're just like, nah, she's lost me, this is bullshit. So I don't know what to do about that, but...
Well, obviously, may I offer some observations?
Yes,
I think,
do.
Given that this is basically, it's your first comedy festival run of this material, I think because it's anecdote-based, I think those anecdotes probably need to be shorter and tighter.
Yeah.
The audio-visual stuff obviously needs to be rehearsed to the point where when you point to the screen, you get the image that you want. So that's obviously a knuckle. When it started really strong, then it kind of, it's small material. Then, Bev Killick, once you start interacting with the audience...
That's when I start to...
The firecrackers just went off.
Yeah.
You obviously have played a lot of pubs.
I have.
And you're very good at audience banter.
Well, I've sort of likened myself to the way that Joan Rivers went, in a way. And I watched a documentary on her just recently. She's my absolute hero. And she did a lot of nightclubs before she did big theatres. And that's really where I cut my teeth. And you have to be able to handle everything that's in the room. And I'm half deaf. I can't hear very well in my left ear at all. So when someone says something, I actually don't understand. So when that woman in the front said flea control, what I thought she was saying that she works in flea control, that's what I heard. And she repeated herself 3 or 4 times. That's what I heard, but she actually works in fleet control. So anyway,
obviously,
it kind of makes it funnier in a way.
Well, it's probably a slight disability that you might want to just hang on to for purely comic purposes.
Fuck the hearing aid.
Yeah. So, Bev Killick, you are going to be participating in Upfront this year?
Yes.
You are? Okay. So, can you explain to me, do we still need a showcase for female comedians in the year 2022?
I think that's a very good question, Jim. I've been actually asking myself the same thing. I'm not sure about it. I mean, 20 years ago, sure, we did. Because we needed to, showcase our talents because, it was almost like an underground thing being a female comedian, So, maybe it needs to end soon.
It's now been a century that women have proved on stage and on film that they are as funny as a man. A century. Explain, can you, how or why it is that when you started out in 2000, that you saw it, and many other women, comedians, saw it as basically a man's domain. How does that happen?
It was bizarre. Because I entered the industry and just didn't even realise. I had no idea. I had none, right? Because I was going to poetry nights and improv nights and clowning and whatever, and it was all very 50-50 and whatever goes. And then when I entered the domain of stand-up, it was very different kettle. And I just had to go, oh, right, this is what I have to do here, right? I have to suck up to that person and that person and that person, and just be good, just be nice, stay in my corner, don't be too out there, just be nice, get along with everyone. And it really was like that. I couldn't be myself. I couldn't be who I wanted to be up there. If I was starting right now, it would have been perfect, because all that's just, it's gone now. And about maybe 8 years ago, I started a group for women in comedy called Bloody Funny Women. So if there's any newcomers or any comedians out there that need to join, just look it up. It's a secret group, and we really needed it because there's always a lot going on. You just get pushed out. You get like, no, can't do this, don't belong. But in the year 2022, everything is so good. It's so good. We've even got an app now on Uber where we can get a taxi home if we feel like we need it. If we feel threatened in any way, shape or form, we can go to this Uber app, bam, we can get home. Because there's been too many examples of women that have been attacked or suffered violence on the way home from a gig. And that is a terrible, terrible thing. It doesn't make sense. These dumb shits that think that there is a different gene inside the human body for comedy? What the fuck? I mean, I don't even think about it. Like, I've never thought about my sex, my gender, ever, as a child, as a woman, as an adult. I've never thought, I can't do this because blah, blah, blah. I'm just not built that way, which is bizarre for a woman my age, really, to be that way. I'm not an ardent feminist. I'm not this. I just live it as I see it. My father would say, you can't do this, this, and this. I fucking did it anyway. Because I didn't believe it. I don't believe in that bullshit. It is not a fucking man's world. And there's a lot of men in this world that would believe that too. That is fucking crock of shit. That a certain species of human can be funnier than another. Not the same brains. If we were out skin and organs and whatever, we're the same. We're exactly the same. Our brains are the same.
I wanted to put this to you. I'm going to see that and raise you this. You pride yourself on being a physical comedian.
Yeah.
I've long argued that women do physical comedy better than men do.
Because we have to be seen and heard more. We've learned to. And that's why when I first started, do you remember when I first started? I was outrageously filthy. And I would do tricks to get noticed, to get a laugh. Anything to get a laugh. Like this sort of, circus fucking act. So I would sing dirty songs, or, I'd be really, really fucked up, dirty, just to get the laugh, just to get their attention. And then I let go of that maybe, around 10 years ago, and got on with it. But that's what I had to do. That's what I felt I had to do. And yet now I go and see new comedians and I'm like, they said what? That I used to get into trouble for. It was like, can't say that, And especially Sydney Comedy Festival, they are a little bit sort of more, they look down their nose a bit more, So you have to really watch it. The thing I've got against me now is that a woman of my age should not be speaking the way that I do. I'm just like, what the fuck? So we have to get through that, and that. Now I have to fight ageism. You know, it's like, it just continues. It just keeps going. It's like, at the end of my life, I'll just be like, oh, fuck, I'm glad we got through all that.
You take great pride in your persona. The misbehaving mother and wife, the party girl, showing your knickers, flashing your breasts. You take pride in that.
I do.
Both because it's funny.
I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah. But also because there's something endearingly brazen about a woman who, as you so eloquently put it, doesn't give a shit.
I don't. I honestly don't. And I can remember barbecues in the 70s. And my mum wearing her culottes at a barbecue with all the dips and everything all around her just going... So, I mean... and all the... Do you remember the adult games at dinner parties? And I was like... What the fuck are they doing? It was all so sexual. You know, the balloons and the knees and the oranges in your neck. And I'm just like, the keys in the bowl. I was out of control. And I think it happens every 30 years. There's like this new sort of genre. You know, in the 20s, they were out of control. And I have actually had a few women in comedy say that they have stuck with it. And they do look up to me in a way, which is beautiful. I love that, you know. And I'm not in it for fame. I'm not in it to be a household name or anything like that. I'm in it because I love stand-up. It really is such a great thing. And I'm in for the long haul, you know. I'm an actor as well. I'm a voiceover artist. I'm all these other things, a writer, blah, blah, blah. So I've got a lot of things where I can earn money. But stand-up is where it's my greatest love.
What do you get out of it? You've been doing it for over 20 years now.
Yeah.
It's not a secure way to make a living.
It does pay off. You'll get really good gigs. You get corporates, and you know you'll get $5,000 here, and I get a lot of ads as well. And you'll see them coming up soon. But I've just done a couple of series during a few lockdowns, and yeah, my acting work's really picked up because I'm not on tour all the time. I can actually do these auditions and I can meet the dates of filming, you know. But stand up, I don't know, there's something about it. It's so addictive. It's such a beautiful, you know.
What do you get out of it? Give me a better answer.
It's a feeling in your cells. It's like, and there's this feeling like, oh, I can fucking do this. And when you get a laugh, when you get a really good laugh, it is the best feeling. That spontaneous laughter that you get. They don't even know why they're laughing. That's what I want. I want laughter that they don't even have to try. It's just, whoa!
Now, I understand you're quite a spiritual person. Is this true?
Yeah.
Is there something spiritual that you get out of standing in front of a crowd?
Like I'm using my gifts. I'm using what I'm meant to be doing. I was at a ritual many years ago, and it was an American Indian ritual with the proper real deal, with Grandmother Windhawk who ran it, and you had to sit in this this hut, and it was hot, you know, and you had to go through all these motions. And what came out of it for me was my gifts that I'd been given, and I hadn't even realised it was the gift of humour. And they've just been sitting there on the surface. And I took away from that, just went, you know what, that's absolutely true, and that's what I've got to do. So I dropped everything.
I have to ask you about your work with the issue of incontinence.
Yeah.
Where did you become ambassador?
I was asked, they were looking for someone around my age that was funny, that was incontinent, and could talk about it. And
when was this, 2018?
2019.
2019, okay.
And there was about 5 different people in the comedy industry that all said my name. So it was a no-brainer.
How has it gone?
88 million reach. unbelievable. We had Germany, we had Belgium, we had everywhere asking how we did it, you know. It won awards. It was on Gruen Transfer. It was on everything. And, I mean, even went to Canberra, Laugh Without Leaking.
That's the thing that won the awards in
Canberra. And so the Comedy Festival got on board as well. And then we had Tanner Lady and we had all these other sponsors. So I was giving out flyers at the front of the town hall when you were allowed to, with a Tanner Lady stapled to my flyer. Yeah, it was a little giveaway. No, it was a really great campaign, and because it's something that people won't talk about, and especially men, because it's not just a women's problem, right?
Have you succeeded in removing the stigma from this issue that affects, I understand, 1 in 4 people, at least in this country?
Look, I think I actually did a lot in helping people to get to the physiotherapist and get involved and look at their health, and it's not an embarrassing situation.
Is comedy a superpower?
I reckon, because I mean, you know, you ask people what's their greatest fears, and it's, you know, speaking in public is like right up there. And it's so weird for me because I was a very shy child, and I wasn't allowed to speak out of turn, and I was very strict upbringing. So for me, it's my release. It's my way of being heard, and it's such a strange beast. But once you discover it, there's only a few of us. You know, I don't know how many percent of the population we are, but we get together for these little events and whatever. It's like they're comedians, and we get each other. You know, it's so bizarre when we get together.
Is there a comedy god that watches over you and other comedians?
Yes, Dave Grant, who's he was one of my dearest friends in the whole world, and I often feel him around me.
I guess I mean that god that is watching you perform and decides at a particular moment, without giving you any warning, something will occur.
Oh,
that
yeah.
you could not script, that you couldn't plan.
Well, that happened tonight. You never know when it's going to happen, but with me, it happens a lot. And I'll just kind of, I don't know, I'll just swing in and out. And you just get this feeling when you're up there, it's like, I need to do something else right now. So I'll just ask a few questions. And little miracles happen, and it's beautiful. And you just happen to ask the right people. Like the two elders at the front, I was very frightened for them because I'm being rather rude, and they're like sitting on the front, scared. And I said, do you want me to turn it down? They said, a little bit. And I didn't, right? So every time I said something outrageous, like too far, they're like, but it just makes it funnier, you know? Because with me, there isn't any too far, whatever.
How's your sitcom, Crummy Mummy, coming?
It's got the green light, it's got the go-ahead. So we'll be doing that. I think by the end of the year, we'll start working on that.
Who for?
We're not sure yet. I'm not allowed to give it away, but yeah.
It's written and...
It's written, it's ready to go, and we've got a lead actor that's playing my nemesis. I can give that away if you like. Merry Christmas. Yes.
So she's going to be your enemy, arch enemy.
My neighbour.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've written all these?
Myself, Sam Bowering, and Wendy Squires have written it, yeah.
Sensational. Well, we look forward to that.
Thank you.
You've been doing a lot of acting. You were in Fires, in fact.
Fires is on, and Preacher. It's like, I'm on all these streaming. But I've just, I'm also got a few cameos or minor roles in Savage River, which is coming out in November, I think. And also an 8-part series called Summer Love.
Okay, so you've been concentrating a bit more on the acting stuff.
Yeah.
And just to wrap up, and I do just want to nail this issue about the stroke and how it nearly did you in. You are having, Bev Killick of all people, is consciously having to just tone it down, maybe from 11 to 9.
Not going out every night.
Okay.
Eating better food, watching my cholesterol intake, all that. Yeah. There was someone in the second row going,
you need that, don't you?
and it's just like, oh my God. You've got some people going, and then you got one person going, and she was looking at the door at one stage, and I'm going, oh my God, just fuck off. Just fucking seriously. What's your problem, lady? Go and get your support animal and fuck off.